It's Friday night, it's 9:30 and it's noise from the boys. We're not in the studio tonight because of events which were outside our control, so we're doing it from my house tonight. So if you hear any barking, any yelp, it'll be between Jack Russells, Karen and Stevie G getting a belt. Tonight it's just myself, Chris.
All right.
And someone who's becoming an ever-present on Anfield FM now, Martin.
Hello.
Right, this weekend, I think for the last 4 weeks, we've said it's the biggest game in a generation. Chris, how big's this game? If we were a little bit posher, we'd be saying it's epic, wouldn't we?
It's bigger than the last game, innit? I've been saying every game's massive, but this is the one now, innit? I think if we go into this game and come out of this like we've come out of every other game recently, I think it's only going to be one outcome, but it seems like, I don't know what the players are like. The players seem a bit focused, actually. Roger's seen Roger's interview before, he looks relaxed, but I don't know how everyone else is feeling, but I'm certainly not relaxed.
Martin, you've just been saying yourself this week's been a bit subdued. In what way do you mean that?
I think for the last 5 or 6 weeks, I think the excitement and the furore about the title running, I think we're now getting down to the real nitty-gritty, the real business end of this title running. And I think it's just a little bit of a calm and eye in the storm. It feels like we've had all this madness, all this, as I say, furore, and now this is it. We're looking down the barrel of the gun now.
Do you think people are starting to bottle it now? Because everyone was telling us how well we were doing for months and months, and we were brushing it off because we've had that many false starts. But this week, everyone's saying on social media, ourselves, we're all talking about when we come home with the trophy or when we win at our Palace and all that. Do you think this week people have realised they've pushed themselves so far that there's no turning back now? And if we don't win it, it's going to be the biggest, it's going to be the worst feeling since whenever.
So yeah, I think it will be everyone's been saying we're going to win the league for the last 6 weeks. Everyone's been having that bit of banter, the bit of jovial mood about it, and it's great when it's like that. And we give our opponents fans stick, and Evertonians we work with, Man United fans that we work with, it's all a bit of banter. That's sort of subdued that now. That's gone away. This is it now. This is it. It's no, one slip, and it could all come crumbling down. And the Jose Mourinho is not the type of fella I want to be coming up against. With one slip on the cards can bring it all crashing down. It's a time for ultimate focus. This is where Brendan Rodgers is going to earn his corn this weekend, because this fella is going to come. He's going to be trying to get into people's heads. We're a young team, we're an inexperienced team in title run-ins. We've never been in this position before. Steven Gerrard, 33 years of age, he's never been in this position before, where it's there for us to grasp. This is it now. This Sunday is the biggest game that I can remember from being a Liverpool fan, and I'm 21.
Tell you what, you're having half made me feel good there. Another thing what's done me head in this week, I'm not sure if it's in Walton or somewhere, I've had the Premiership's trophy on display, and people have been going in and getting the pictures took with it, and the Bill shirts on and that. Of course they have.
You're not meant to touch it, are you?
Oh, you tell that to them. But anyway, yeah, it's big this week. But before we go into, sorry, yes, Chris.
One of our co-hosts, Colin, who's not here, he'll be on Twitter after. He's gone on from, I don't know, it was about October, September. He's been saying since September, and confidence, as you like, is that we're going to win the league. I can see us win the league, and just thought he was a bit round the bend, but I think he's confident than ever now, and you've got to be a bit upbeat. You've got to think about us winning it now. What the performance we've been putting in. We've got the momentum, and as looking at Rodgers before, they seem like it's in their heads now. They can't let it slip. It's not a case of we can't do it. You've got to do it.
I didn't mean to put a negative vibe on it. I think it's just a time for for business. It's ultimate focus.
Yeah.
We're in touching distance, and we haven't done it we haven't been there for 25 years. We're nearer than we was in 2009 and 97, was it? It's the nearest we've been for years, and like it's starting to. We're starting to bottle it, the fans anyway.
Last week was a massive. We've got our Champions League position signed, sealed, delivered. We've got third position sewn up. This weekend can put Chelsea right out of it. It's down to us and City then. So we're knocking them away as the weeks go by, and there's not many weeks left.
Well, we'll come to the Norwich and we'll come to the week that was in a few minutes. But myself, Chris, and Tony the caveman, who's usually on tonight, done the walk for Hillsborough. We never walked alone all the way from the Leppens Lane at Sheffield back to Liverpool, and that's why Tony's not here tonight. Me and Chris reckon he's a casualty of that, because we told him to have a rest at 24 miles and he just wanted to soldier on. Chris?
12 miles.
Well, 12 miles he soldiered on and done a 24 without a rest. Good on him, but he's paying for it now.
Take me hat off to him, yeah. He's not feeling too good. I've seen him before. But it was tough. It was tough. It was starting off on that Friday night. 1 o'clock in the morning. Didn't know what lay ahead of us, and I don't know. It was good, but at the time it was draining. That first night, oh my God!
It was heavy going through them Pennines in the frost, wasn't it?
It was -3, -3 or -4. Do you say?
Was it that warm? Yeah.
Well, it was warm because I was sweating, but
where's most of your pain? Is it?
The pain was the pain was in your head. No, the undercarriage was sorted. The pain was me and Chris, we weren't all together, even though there was 40 of us walking. We spread out over. Everyone kept their own pace, and we spread out over must have been maybe 4 or 5 mile radius, and we had support vehicle at the front, support vehicle at the back, and then we were supposed to have our rest periods, and we come in the distance in the dark. We could see the brake lights on this van. So we ran down to the van. We thought this must be our break period. And when we got there, I slid open the mini bus door, and they were all sitting there. It was full. They were all sitting there. No one had given me eye contact. I went, "Is this our swap over?" And they went, "No, we've just stopped to I think they'd stopped for a piss or something." And we had to march on for another 3 or 4 miles, and that was 4 or 5 in the morning, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, that was we stopped. We stopped about 12 miles from me, and that was about 5:30. It was just starting to go light. Tony cracked right on his own in the dark, but he later admitted that he got a bit scared on his own walking through the Pennines, which it was just in the middle of nowhere. It was on the A roads, and wagons were roaring past you. You had to jump into the bushes sort of thing. We had a few deflectors on us and torches and that, but it was your feet was killing, and mentally though, because it was through the night, I think that's what drained you, and it was tough.
For our regular listeners, you'll remember that we done the show last week's show live from Sheffield. We went up to Sheffield, stayed in a hotel, but earlier on in the day we went into Hillsborough, and we had a look around the Leppens Lane, and that was strange. We spoke about that last week. We won't go on too much. I've just remembered that. But it has everything, didn't it, Chris? It had laughter, it had pain, it had tears, it had blood, and there was even a love angle, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, actually on the Leppens Lane as well.
Yeah. And I'll take that up.
You can take that.
Yeah, our missing man tonight, Tony, decided when he was on Leppens Lane he wanted to get his hair cut. I think he wanted to look good for the cameras because there's quite a lot of media with us. So we went into a barber's on Leppens Lane. It was actually a female barberess, shall we call her, and she was a little blind, wasn't she? She looked a bit like Michelle Keegan, and Tony had her up the wall. Tony was doing all his stuff and all his normal carry on like he normal does, and we went and he got his hair cut, and she was sound, and she has a little twinkle in her eye for Tony, didn't she? So we went to bed. We got off, went as our sleep, and then Tony wouldn't shut up about us. So I said, "Tony, write her a little love letter and post it through the letterbox." And he didn't he, Chris?
Yeah, it was on the Friday, wasn't it? Because we got there the Friday, obviously, and then we got our heads down the hotel after he's had his haircut in the afternoon.
What was his haircut like, Sean?
There was loads of products on it.
I can just see Tony with a Sean Bean hairdo.
Yeah, it was a proper Yorkshire haircut.
Gary Stretch or something like that, full of products, full of gel, all the gel in his hair and all that. So he looked proper Sheffield, proper bow. Because we got our heads down in the daytime in the hotel, which was a bit weird because it was roasting outside. It was just anyway. We get up around 6, didn't we? 7, messing about in the hotel and all that, and then we goes back to the ground. And this was 11 o'clock. We get to Leppings Lane, but by this time, Tony had wrote his little note and left his number and all that on it and posted to the barber shop.
That might be where he is tonight.
Yeah, well, and then when we were on when we reached Huddersfield the next morning, about 8 o'clock, she must have opened the shop up for work and found his letter, and she texted him and said, "Oh yeah, I'd love to come to Liverpool. I'll catch up with you." So that carried Tony for another 24 miles, didn't it? Yeah. So
great effort. I think the coverage that it got, which was the awareness that it was meant to, that it was intended to was hit the nail on the head, lads. I think.
Yeah, everyone involved was fantastic. Sherry Brewster, Steve Kelly, all the support crew. Even my missus had to come up halfway through because the coach broke down, and I had to phone her. She was on great thing. I had to say, "Get up here with the van." And she got up with the van and blow up mattresses and pillars and everything. And so she helped us. Good team effort. The paramedics, everyone who met us and joined us on the way. The people who's done the catering, I think they were called Scoff Catering. Everyone, yeah, it was all good round, and quite emotional when we got to the Shankly Gates, weren't it?
It was, and I think it was done with class as well. It was done right. It was spot on. We got to the Shankly Gates, and what she said was Sherry, who organised it, she wanted the kids involved more than anything at the end. So everyone who joins on, all the kids that were there, she pushed them all to the front. And then there was 96 red roses, what they wanted the walkers to pass on to the kids. And the kids were brilliant, weren't they? It was no like messing about with them. They realised, it was like local kids. Yeah. They realised what it was about, sort of thing. But there was no I want to, it was class the way it was done, to be honest. And it was touching, really touching. Yeah,
so that was that. We're still
tender.
We're still tender. There's a few casualties. There's loads of casualties, weren't there? There was a loads of walking wounded, but we got there in the end. Whether I'll do it again next year, I'm not quite sure. What about you, Chris?
The wheels are in motion as well. I've seen a thing on Twitter. Steve Kelly's already put the wheels in motion, but I don't know at the moment. I think I'll be passing the baton on. It was a bit too tough, but it was all in a good cause. But it was good anyway, so
that's going to be a yearly annual thing, is it?
Well, it's in the starting planning for it again next year. Before we move on, you've just pointed something else on Twitter, haven't you, Martin?
Yeah, I've just had a text off our Andrew. Tito Villanova, the old Barcelona manager, has sadly passed away. Tragic, really. Great footballer, 45. He was sick. He had to give the job up through illness, and sadly he's passed away. So, sadness that really. Young man. Yeah. Okay, we'll move on to the Norwich game. We got back from the walk, and we had to do our bits and pieces. We didn't have to, but we done our bits and pieces at the memorial, and we didn't. We got in to see the second half. We went into the pub boozers, and we watched the second half against Norwich, Chris.
Yeah, facing the Cop, the Park. Got in there 2-0 up, cruising. Thought, brilliant. 2-0 up, you can't ask for more at half time. Thinking they're going to come out and bang a couple more in. By the looks of it, Norwich being where they are, down the bottom and whatever. And it just turns on its head after half time, and we have to be. And it's just stressful again, weren't it? Just
again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Second half syndrome again.
Yeah.
It seems like we've got all this tempo and come out the block straight away, and we just die again. We need to be getting a good 2 or 3 goal lead, because we're expecting the onslaught coming back.
We had a 2 or 3 goal lead. Yeah. Mignolet.
Yeah. I think he's pulled us out the bag a few times this year. He's still there's still questions to be asked of him. He's got to be commanding his box a bit more than that, the big fella.
I agree, but I think he saved us more points than lost us points. So, and that save near the end, when he pulls off right on the line, you know, he scenes himself really. But you know, they're gonna make mistakes, but hopefully they're few and far between from now and the end. But no, he's all right.
It was good that you know, Sterling stepped up to the plate on the weekend. It's you know, it's great that you've got a team that. You know, teams might think that they've covered all bases by taking care of the two main men, and then next, you know, you've got the third main man, the fourth main. We're getting a load of match winners now. Coutinho's done it in recent weeks. Sterling's grabbing the bull by the horn. Stevie can do it, you know, now and again, and that's without mentioning the other two.
Yeah, well, Sterling's starting to become greedy in a good way, whereas earlier on in the season he'd try and go through on his own, mess it up, and he'd have Suarez on his back, like sort of bullying him. Now he's sort of taking his own mantle on. He's becoming a superstar in his own right now, isn't he? I mean, Sturridge was in the shadow of Suarez. Sterling was in the shadow of Sturridge, and now as we're coming to as you say, the business end, they're shining, aren't they?
Yeah, there's match winners all over the park. I think he's matured beyond his years, Sterling. He's still a teenager, and you know, he's going to be a real key asset for us over the next couple of years with his pace and he looks like he's learning every week. He's coming a lot more mature, doesn't waste the ball as much as he used to. He used to sometimes go down dead ends a lot, get the ball and turn. But now, the biggest thing with Sterling now, he's always turning he gets the ball and he's always turning into space. His movement's great. He's going to be a key asset for us next few years, no doubt.
He's turned his game now 100% from the first half of the season, and Santa Rodgers as well again. But he's become like a man now, a proper player. What we were not expecting this much out of him, but he's going to be over the next couple of years. He's going to be one of the top players in world football. I imagine.
To be honest, about a year ago, I didn't think he was going to make it. We all knew he had the potential. We'd all heard the stories from the youth team, from the Rezzies and coming through. But when he broke into the first team, he just looked like he was lacking a bit of know-how, a bit of nous, and he was a little bit lightweight. And you know, we've all heard the rumoured stories of his attitude and his off-the-field antics and that type of thing.
Another David Ngo or something.
I didn't. Yeah, all signs were pointing to, as you say, a Pongol, a Latalik, you know, an unacquainted sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Potential. You know, someone who wouldn't fulfil his potential, but he's proved me wrong. I'll tell you that.
I was saying loan him out, not sell him at Christmas, but loan him out at Christmas.
I sold him for $3 million.
I just thought no, loan him out because he has got the potential. Because you've seen it in early when he first burst onto the scene. But what a player he's turned out to be. And as you said, while he's busy doing what he's doing, you know, wonder what the defenders are going to. They're worrying about Suarez, they're worrying about Coutinho, they're worrying about Sturridge. You know while he's doing his stuff, you know, so you know, keep him. I don't know.
I think a lot of his damage he's doing at the moment is through the middle as well, and I didn't think I'd see that. I didn't think I'd see him play there this year that much. I thought he'd always be a wide man. He'd be, you know, either cutting in from the left or we'd have him far out wide. Yeah. But he's found this role for him at the top tip of this diamond formation, which just seems to suit him down to the ground. Yeah. So I think that's going to be a position for him for the future.
Well, we're in the Facebook age, we're in the Twitter age, and the neutral fans who are starting to say all these Liverpool fans are coming out the woodwork. All of a sudden, people who they worked with for years, who didn't even know they follow football, become Liverpool fans. But I'm a bit guilty of that because this week I become a Sunderland fan for a few days. So what about you, Martin?
Definitely, yeah. I had my red and white scarf on the thingy. Mackham do this, Mackham do that. I was fighting with Geordies and everything. I was just to get in the spirit of it. Yeah. Dave, it just shows you that there's nothing's guaranteed in this league. These people at 10 games from the end sit down and go, "Oh, that's a win, that's a draw, that's a win." They might as well go and sling the ruck, them lot, because you just can't predict what's going to happen. That's why this run that we've gone on should not be, you know, make no bones about it, that's some achievement, the run that we've been on up to now, 11 wins. And if he extended that to the end of the season, that alone is some major achievement. There's going to be, next couple of weeks, there's going to be more twists and turns. People are fighting for their lives. There's going to be more twists and turns for second and third place. We're going to cruise it. But people are fighting for their lives. And who would have thought Sunderland, bottom of the table, going to City on it, with a lad who's hardly played, young lads, hardly ever played, Berries too. And then they go and upset all them at the bridge as well. Mm-hmm. Great, it was brilliant.
We were on the way from on the walk. We were on the way from Oldham to the Etihad, and God, did that give us a lift when that come through, didn't it? We got a good few miles out of us walking on here, right through Cheetah Mill and all them godforsaken areas of Manchester.
But it was all the referee's fault. That's why the Chelsea game was all the referee's fault.
We're coming on to it. We're coming on to no, we're going right into it. We're coming right into Wanker of the Week. We haven't got the jingle this week because Tony's laid up, but Wanker of the Week, I'll let Martin start.
Before I even got in discussion with these two, when I came in, I think we were all in agreement. The other fella's gone. God rest his soul, Mr. Moyes.
Well, I'm just about to say that as Giggs stepped into the Man United manager's job, or has he stepped into the Wanker of the Week mantle, because Moyes was getting it that much that if Giggs does as much of a job as Moyes has done, he'll be getting it every week. But let's go back to our Portuguese friend.
Yeah, he's really let himself down there, an embarrassment, I thought. I think for reasons such as that, for the way he acts with the media, for the way he carries on, I think that's why he never got the United job, Mourinho. I think the classless nature of him and the disrespect that he brings onto clubs like United and Liverpool, I don't think they'd entertain him. People like Chelsea, they don't have the same sort of ethos as a club. They don't care. They're classless anyway. So
United have appointed a manager who's full of class at the moment.
Well, yeah, I know he's got a tarnished. He's got a tarnished.
The cheating one.
Yeah, that's his personal life, isn't it? We can't talk, can we, about Brendan?
I know you've just come in from work, man. Have you not seen today's press conferences?
I've seen a little bit of the Ryan Giggs one, and I've seen a little bit of the Brendan Rodgers one. And Brendan Rodgers, no matter what he's doing on the pitch, that's one thing. The way he's got his playing on the pitch. How he represents us off the pitch is absolutely top notch. He doesn't get fazed by anything. He always maintains a class and a dignity that is befitting of a Liverpool manager. And take my hat off to him for. He's 41 years of age, this fella. Ryan Giggs is, how old Ryan Giggs? 41. So they're the same age, and, he's just stepping into this role, Ryan Giggs, as a bit of an interim manager. Brendan Rodgers is looking now like an older statesman of a manager. Class, respect, knowledge, dignity, and, not many managers, will be able to stand up in front of that crowd that he did last week at the memorial service. And I thought he was class. Thought he was brilliant.
I'd say all our bottles have gone, but he said on his press conference today he's been sleeping like a baby. Whether he's lying, he hasn't got them bags under his eyes like you see some managers at his level who got this pressure on. But so you haven't seen the Mourinho interview?
I haven't.
That Mourinho's asked today about whether he'll play a weekend side, and he's saying that's private. Even though the other night he was shouting it from the rooftop, that's private. He was asked other questions. He kept saying, well, I can't really speak to you now because every time I say something I get in trouble. He was just using that same sarcastic. He's up to something. We all know what he's up to, but is he going to be able to pull it off?
No, because as Brendan said, he said the mind games aren't going to work on him. He knows him better than anyone. He's worked alongside him. He knows exactly how he works, and he's just talking absolute shite, and he knows that. And he's going to give that to the Liverpool players, say, look, don't listen to it. And I hope he does play his strongest team, whoever it is. I know he can't play his strongest team with injuries and whatever, but I'd rather him play whoever he wants, because that's only brings the best out in Liverpool, the better they are as they come to Anfield this season. Because playing unknown players, you're going into the unknown end, aren't you? But he's up to something, obviously he's up to something, but he's lost a lot of respect amongst everyone now, even the papers, everyone's on him. So I don't think, it's not going to work now. It's not going to wash, is it? Like Fergie used to do it for years. He used to did have the kicks off a lot of managers, but Mourinho's classless.
Chelsea can't moan either because they've got this loan policy. Now they're moaning about weakened sides and that. They've got 44 players out on loan, I think, Martin.
Yeah, I think Brendan was brilliant today in his interview where he said, no matter who they put out, they'll all have cost more and we'll all have more experience than Liverpool's players. So if he wants to take Brendan on, I think, as Chris said, I think he's a big advocate of the mental and psychological side of the game, Brendan, anyway. You know, he's got this sports psychiatrist in who's meant to be spending a lot of time with the players, and I don't think he's going to get anywhere. He's going to get no mileage out of Brendan. I think Mourinho is feeling the pressure a bit. I think if he doesn't deliver a trophy this year, the questions have got to be asked. He spent a lot of money.
It's the Chelsea way, isn't it?
That's right. You know, heads could roll again. I don't think they will, but you know, in the summer he knew what strikers he had at that club. He had a couple of months ago he was talking about lack of strikers and this type of thing. He could have addressed that in the summer. He had a full transfer window. He had money to burn, I'd imagine, and that's what he's left himself with. So that's his managerial performance.
Especially letting Lukaku go out on loan to Everton. Look what he's done for Everton this season, being brilliant. So, you know, as you said, you know, he might be found out. He might, you know, Abramovich isn't going to be wanting all this carry on. He wants trophies. That's all he wants. So he's got to come up with this. That's what he's going for, the European Cup. If you believe it, I don't know.
It's not for Chelsea. It's for his profile, isn't it? Of course, he's going to go for that European Cup.
I think he is going for that European Cup. But another thing I'd like to pick on with Mourinho is the football that Chelsea are playing at the moment. Considering the amount of money he's got at his disposal and the players he's got at his disposal, is absolutely shocking. I'd be very disappointed if I was turning up week in, week out to watch that type of shite that he's churning out. It's like sort of backs to the wall, dogs of war type stuff at times. And, you know, I can't see Chelsea turning out any sort of class performance on Sunday. They're going to come and they're going to try and dog it. They're going to park the bus. You know, it's going to be ugly. It really is.
Yeah, just before we go right into the Chelsea game, we're still on Wanker of the Week, so I think we're all agreed. This week, the Wanker of the Week is Jose Mourinho. Chelsea, who's starting?
I think the back four is basically going to pick itself, I think you're probably going to see Cahill, and I think he might play Ivanovic alongside Cahill. As he Procurator, is it? As he Procurator, whatever his name is, the Spanish kid, he'll play right back, and I think you'll see Ashley Cole play as well. Yeah. I think Lampard's going to play, obviously, because he's going to miss out in Europe. Matic will come back into it, I imagine. I think he might play Etu up front. I think. I'm not sure he'll play Torres. Etu got a lot of joy against us last time. He was the match winner for them when we played them over Christmas. And then you'll probably see Oscar or Shearer or one of them will probably be on one side with the other, or who's the other fella, with Willian, I'd imagine.
They're going to park the bus?
Yeah, I think you've just nailed it there with the team, like, because the team what they've been putting out is just, is it Aki or something, someone like Aki, Nathan Aki.
I believe he was feeling everyone's muscles in the changes.
So his players are never heard of really, so I don't think it's going to be none of that. And that's a little spanner in the works, what you said with Eto. I don't know about Eto. I think he go with Demba Ba. I think he might try and save Eto for Atletico, but as you said, he's up to something. So and he's not going to give this league up easily. So he's gonna go park the bus and try and nick a goal. Do this, you know, do his same as you said, dogged little ugly game and try and just nick a little goal or two and try and beat us on the counter, know what I mean? But I think we're a bit more wiser than that now, aren't we? We're just, once we get into their half, it's, you know, it's all ours, isn't it?
Yeah. It's and hopefully the crowd's going to play a part. The lads from Flagpole Corner Spine Cup 1906, they're putting on the welcome again for the team coach. So if you can get there, do so. I think it'll be around 12 o'clock. Would you say, Chris?
I think it's 12:15, same as last time, 11:45. Yeah, and then carry it on to the ground. Which I think City was City was mad. But I think this is going to be even... they're going to be more up for it with this one. I think this could come close to the semis in the European Cup. I don't know whether it'll beat it because I've never seen an atmosphere like that night. And if it comes close to that, even close to it, there's only going to be one winner because that crowd, that scared the life out of any team. And if they're up for it there Sunday, there's only really going to be one outcome. And that's because even John Terry admitted it in his book. He said, I couldn't believe the crowd that night, he said, and it played its part, and it's going to play its part on Sunday in a big way, I think.
Yossi Mireno admitted as well, but he says it played a part on the officials, not on the players. Now, how they can say a crowd can play a part against the officials, but the players aren't bothered is beyond me. I've had Man City fans on one of the forums this week saying that the crowd doesn't play any part. This is Man City who can't even fill their grounds on a title run. You know what I mean? But anyway, getting back to the welcome, I think Tony mentioned that he stayed for the Chelsea, the Man City coach as well. It'd be great if Chelsea got that, what's the word? Response, shall we call it? What Liverpool got last week. It'd be a totally different angle to be coming from. But if the Chelsea players could see that, it'd be absolutely brilliant. It'd put their plastic wave and antics, way into oblivion, wouldn't it, Matt?
I think the crowd that we got before the City game was, lining the streets by the King Gary, and I think it was bigger than the crowds Chelsea got when they won the Champions League on the streets of Kensington and the streets of Westminster and Kensington. I don't care, the top professionals at the top of the game, and I don't care anyone says that type of crowd and that type of atmosphere has an effect. And that one in 2005, which is the best atmosphere I've ever been to at a football match, better than the final, I'd say, better than the final. That's got to have an effect on you. It's got to, and we definitely had an effect that night in 2005. I've no doubt about it. I think we've been a massive part of this year as well. I think the fans have been a major part of where we're at. We're all, the board, the manager, the team, the fans. We're all in it together at the moment, and it's a great feeling going into this last few games. I think we just need to cheer it home, and we need to bring it home.
Yeah, I think the fans have been. I think it's like last season. I think like Juventus and that were getting a rough ride where a misplaced pass would go and there a few groans and that. But this season it seems to have gone that. I know the football plays a lot of big part in it with them winning. But I've always thought if that ground was like that week in, week out, no one would beat Liverpool at Anfield. If you could, you can't raise it. The fans can't always be like that. But if you could be like that every home game, like a European night, there's only going to be one winner in that ground.
Yeah. Okay, we've got to crack on. We haven't got too long tonight. We usually ask for predictions for the game. Do you think we've come too far now for specific predictions? But my we could actually absolutely tonk these. It's a huge game. It's like a derby. It's the mentality of going out and playing Man United. City aren't really rivals in that respect, but it's going to be that mentality of against Everton, against Man United, and I think we could win 3-0 on Sunday. And I think our little mate Sterling might put one in.
I fancy Sturridge to have a good game on Sunday. I think
He'll play,
yeah. I think Sturridge will play, and I expect him to have a good game Sunday. I don't think they're going to have the players in their starting 11 to really boss the game. They haven't got a lot of the hazards, the little nippy players that are going to have a load of possession. So I can see us coming out the traps again. I can see players that the likes of Ashley Cole, who's going to be coming up against some young, quick whippets. He's going to have a tough afternoon. As is the back two at, Kale and if it is Ivanovic, not the most mobile Ivanovic, but I think they're going to have an hard afternoon, and hopefully the tempo will come out to a quick tempo again, get a couple of goals in front, and then get a third, and good night Vienna. I think it's going to be 3-0 Sunday.
What about you, Christopher?
Bite your hands off for that, Matt.
And the league will be more or less decided, you think?
Yeah,
City to play later on?
City to play later on. We will then be 6 points ahead of City, will we? They'll have a game. No, sorry, 9 points ahead of City. They've got
2 games
to play. 2 games to play. Tough game for them against Palace.
And Everton.
Tough game against Palace, the form team. Tony Pulis's boys are not are doing the business. It'd be nice for them to take at least,
to get one scalp out of the top 4, wouldn't it?
To at least get a draw out of that game that'd knock City back. Something lovely. And then the Blues. The Blues are still scrapping for that 4th spot. I think it'd be absolutely unbelievable if that was a draw, that game, which meant City were out of it, but Everton didn't quite make the Champions League by a point. That'd be the best thing ever.
Prediction for Sunday, Chris?
I'm thinking 3-1, but I'll go 2-0. I'll go 2-0. Goal either side. Let's go 1-0 first half, second and 2-0. Goal either side. Game of 2 halves. 2-0 I'll go for.
Okay, I've just gone 3-0 tonight, Sterling, yeah. Before we wrap up, say a big hello to Ian Daly. He's an avid listener, and he's had a big operation on his leg, and he's not moving. He's not moving till Sunday, he said. He made the trip to Norwich, which he shouldn't have, but he said he's not going to move now till Sunday. He's going to keep that leg still. So get well soon, Ian. And also, just show you some of the stats. We've hit the 150,000 mark the last 30 days. We've had 150,000 listeners in the last 30 days. And they're from, if I just click on...
Have you got any from Sidcup? I've got a few mates from Sidcup. We keep promising to listen in.
No, but we've I can't actually see it now, but let's see how many countries... We've got anyway. Last count, it was listeners from 138 countries. I think there's only 190 countries in the world, so that's not bad, is it? That's not bad. If anyone wants to advertise with us, that's get in touch with us on Facebook, Twitter, or paul@anfieldfm.org, and we can sort you out a decent rate. But I think this is the time now to cash in on Liverpool's success with our listeners all around the world. So do that and we'll sort you out. So, Sunday, it's an epic. Let's hope you'll be sitting here next week and we'll be giggling our socks off. Up the Reds.
Up the Reds. Stadium, no? You want to talk about stadium?
Oh, it's just fucking all the Reds, that, isn't it?